requesting that she not attend today's family engagement meeting, and that I encouraged her to stay on, so we can explore that today. And these meetings are for you and the team. And if you're feeling like you're not at a place where you're comfortable with that, we can dismiss Cassie, but I do want to just explore, what we want to get out of these meetings, and as you and I talked about yesterday, how to keep things moving forward and having a working relationship with everyone. And Cassie did acknowledge that the adjudication hearing was just last week, and that's kind of fresh and raw, and that may be a part of it. But what are your concerns? If you don't mind just talking candidly, and maybe we can mediate some of this right now to help that working relationship.
Sure. My concerns were that I had never met Cassie before. She had just joined the case. I'd never had a conversation with her. She's never been to my house. She's never seen me interact with my children. Probably wouldn't even watch a video of me and my children if she had the time. And she got up there and started bullying me, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate that at all.
So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes as I'm doing introductions here, Vicki, to be able to define bullying, and for Cassie to be able to have a response, and for us to make a next step, and then we'll set our agenda for the rest of the meeting. So we do have Stephanie, caseworker, and her supervisor, Robin, in the same room from the department. We have hang on real quick. My teammate who was going to be taking notes today is not here. Let me see if they're going to be able to attend or not. Well, that's okay. I don't see them on the call. Okay, also from the department, we have Sarah St. Martin, Supervisor of Placement Resource Manager team. We have Savannah with the Placement Resource Manager team with us. We have Kelsey, Case Manager from Ariel, who oversees and provides support to the other foster home. We have Cassie with Guardian Ad Litem Office, Monica, Attorney Office, Joe with the Office of Respondent Parent Counsel, and Nicole from Ariel Clinical Services to report on parenting time. So that being said, let's tackle this, Vicki. What did bullying look like, and what do you hope to see moving forward?
What I felt was bullying was the abuse and mistreatment by people who have power over me, who have power over the relationship that I have with my children. Just being mistreated, being talked bad about, being accused in front of a jury of saying and doing things that I did not say or do. And just with such spite and hatred and vitriol. And it's unwarranted. Absolutely unwarranted. I'm tired of it.
So your concerns include tone of voice, not meeting you or your kids directly before making statements in court that you don't agree were accurate.
Not meeting me and my children together, like in a setting where they can see what kind of a parent I am. And instead was very supportive of my abuser. Why?
Cassie, as a guardian ad litem, do you meet one-on-one with a parent at any point, and or what are your thoughts?
Only with approval of counsel, and if I think it's appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens toward, return home.
I see. Okay.
Possibly sooner it didn't here for a variety of reasons.
Okay. So otherwise, what you represent in court is what you believe to be in the children's best interest based on the collateral information that you are given by the team and your direct observation of the kiddos correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole structure about my independent investigation. But that's part of why I want to participate in these meetings, to get information directly from the parents rather than third hand through everybody else.
Okay.
And as a GAL, I am a party to the case.
Okay. So that would be one supporting reason to have Cassie here, Vicki, to hear about your progress. If you want to make the call today for her not to be here, I can honor that. And as you know, I'm going to encourage for her to be able to be here in future meetings. Future meetings will be more of I think today we're going to be talking about the proposed treatment plan. And so, hey, Jen, glad you could make it. My lovely teammate is here with us who will be taking notes. And we haven't really delved into anything yet as we're trying to tackle how to have a working relationship here. But Vicki, I think we'll be doing more updates about progress with treatment plan and whatnot in the future. So can we please just explore that prior to our next FAM? I'll put it on my calendar to call you a week or two before the next one. And for now, Cassie, are you okay with being dismissed at this point?
Not really. I mean, I'll file a motion, ordering me to be a part of these. But the treatment plan can't be agreed upon without my input. That's required by statute. So there's that aspect. I don't think visitation can change without my approval.
True.
So I understand you guys can have a meeting, but I don't think any decisions can be made.
Oftentimes,
to the case.
Yeah, Vicki, oftentimes if a guardian ad litem is not at a family engagement meeting, next steps include caseworkers having to reach out to the guardian ad litem before visitation can be increased or and then they're having to redo all that information. So
I have something to say.
And Cassie, these are not, family engagement meetings are not mandatory for families. These
Right.
are, the department's required to offer them as an opportunity to bring who they want to the table to have conversations about the case. And so it's kind of an interesting, I've never had a guardian ad litem, request an order to be a part of these. I don't know that legally that could even happen given the scope of these. These are not a legal proceeding. So again, I want to, bigger picture, Vicki, you and I talked a lot yesterday on how you are going to be able to have a working relationship with your entire team. That includes the department, that now includes the guardian ad litem. What are we going to be able to accomplish in these meetings without having that working relationship? And do these meetings even make sense if there's not a working relationship there? I'm not a mediator. I'm not here to mediate,
I have some input now that
Go ahead.
I heard what you guys had to say. So I don't know how many people were here for my last case. I know Willie was here, Joe was here. I can't really see everybody who was here, but I was bullied by Tammy Talent in a good number of those. I mean, she was all out bullying me. So I just don't want that to happen again. I got bullied enough last week and lied about, and I really would appreciate it if everybody could just stick with the welfare of my children and my progress.
And as you know, Vicki, if there are differences of opinions, whether it's what was presented at court or what's said in today's meeting, we're going to have a next step on what can you do with that difference of opinion? What can you do with that concern? The things you did not agree with regarding what were said in court last week, what you could do was to write a letter to the judge, and that's what you did. So I think we'll kind of keep it focused in that way. We just had Joni join us. What is your role, Joni?
Hi, sorry I'm late. I'm a friend of Vicky's. I was getting my baby had a really nasty diaper, so I apologize for being late.
No fun. All right. Glad you could be here for support. Joe, go ahead.
Sorry, took me a while to get to that mute thing. It's my understanding that under the Title 40 funding, which pay for these meetings, the only people who have
Not anymore, Joe. Not anymore.
Oh, well then, never mind. I was going to say, it's my understanding the only people that have to be at these meetings are the client and the caseworker. I don't know if that's still the case. Also, kind of in regards to Ms. Coleman's argument of the treatment plan can't be approved without her. I mean, we have a whole dispositional hearing on that, so she doesn't necessarily need to be in attendance in this meeting to be able to accomplish that goal. I do want to encourage Ms. Alford to allow her to attend, just because it's usually important to have a guardian ad litem attend. But totally up to you and what you want to do. I understand that you've got past trauma from traumatic experiences that have happened in these meetings. Then I guess my last point is, and I could be wrong with this, but I feel as though the guardian ad litem's ability to make decisions about parenting time is imbued by the treatment plan, and that's why the whole point of, hey, the caseworker and DHA or the guardian ad litem need to be in agreement to change parenting time or whatever, and we don't have a treatment plan. So I don't know how much the guardian ad litem needs to be involved in decision making in terms of visitation, and I don't know if Ms. Alford's going to ask for more parenting time or a change in parenting time.
Right.
So I guess those are kind of my arguments to kind of advocate and support Ms. Alford's position.
That being said, Joe, when Vicki and I prepped a little bit yesterday, Vicki corrected me if I'm wrong. The main points, the main hope that you hope to get out of this meeting today is, number one, to review what the department's proposed treatment plan is. You also want to discuss concerns regarding the kiddos and other new injuries and a plan to ensure that there aren't any future injuries. And then number three, again, you did have concerns about what was reported in court last week. I don't know that we want to delve into that in detail. I already have it in the notes that you don't agree with some of the things that were being said. Therefore, how you handled that was writing a letter to the judge to let him know the specific things you did not agree with.
Her.
Anything else that you were hoping to accomplish in today's meeting?
Yes, I want to try and get more parenting time.
And you're on mute.
Of course. Oh, of course. I want to try and get some more parenting time. And I want to talk about Julian and Julian's involvement. How? What, Kitty? Sorry, I just got a cat. He's crying. So Julian is supposedly meeting with my other children via, I don't know, FaceTime or something. So I wanted to talk about that, see how that's going, if that is going, and then also
Remind that not everyone may know who Julian is, if you want to share.
Julian is my oldest child who was sent to Texas before I got a chance to complete or even start my treatment plan in the last case. I still have full custody of him, but neither Colorado or Texas wants to deal with it for some reason. It's very hard. So also
sibling to the kiddos, and they're having contact.
Mm-hmm.
And your question around that is what again, Vicki?
I just want to ask about that.
Okay.
Stephanie told me that was happening, and so I just wanted to. I just want to follow up about that, and I think my cat's hungry to go feed him. Also,
do you need to take care of some, Vicki? We can pause if you need to go take care of her.
Yes, I
real
just gotta
quick.
go pour him some food. And I wanted to talk about Saturdays. So give me like 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Hey, since we have a break in the action, who is funding is the county now paying for the FEMs?
Yes, and they are not required as a part of Volume 7, but it's best practice to offer families family engagement meetings with the idea that it does help keep cases moving forward. So it is completely voluntary at this point, and really up to the parent, right?
When did that switch over from Title IV to county funded?
About 4.5 years ago, if not maybe even a little longer, yeah.
Holy cow. Okay.
Pretty much when the snacks went away, Joe.
I remember those snacks.
Okay, so Vicki, since we're going to be talking about what the department is going to propose in regards to the treatment plan, are you okay with Cassie at least hearing that part?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to know
Okay.
if she's gonna, like, give her word that she's not gonna use this time to bully me, because it's not appropriate to,
We have Shayna joining us as well, and that is your parent advocate. Is that through your respondent counsel's office as well? Yes. Okay. Hi, Shayna. Welcome.
Hey, sorry, Emily. Thank you.
Well, and part of my job, Vicki, is to manage tone and respect on everyone's part. So let's move forward. Stephanie, agenda items that you want to add, and it looks like you may have. There we go. Yep.
Sorry, I just realized my computer is dying. So before it does do that and I lose you guys, I thought I'd grab it. I wanted to talk about services. I wanted to talk about the ROI. I wanted to ask Vicki basically what support I can provide for her. And then I know that we had talked about some supports from the department assisting Vicki with her home or garage. So I kind of wanted to just discuss that.
Okay. Give you a moment to plug in your computer. Anyone else want to add anything to the agenda? Joe, go ahead.
So I guess I just want the team to know that this is a proposed treatment plan. So, we will have a hearing about this. So, Ms. Alfred, if you hear something that you're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, awful, don't worry, we will address this, and we probably are not going to make any headway about that in this meeting. In the event that we hear something that we're like, oh my gosh, no.
Thanks for that. Yeah. Yep. And then Vicki, since adjudication the trial has happened, have you had any contact with Stephanie since then? Is your plan to be able to have direct communication with her outside of these meetings? Or what is communication between you and Stephanie going to look like moving forward? That's going to help me kind of guide and navigate this as well today.
I will be communicating via email. If she wants to speak, directly, we can set a meeting on the phone. I would like to have my attorney present. If I do have an attorney at the time, I would like them to be present. If not, I will be recording any communication that I have with her thus forward.
Okay. So let's start there with the proposed treatment plan, Stephanie. Communication with case manager is generally always a part of that. And is communication via phone and or email what's expected?
And I would just like to reiterate, I'm happy to meet with your attorneys. I definitely want to support that. If Joe or Shane, I think, would like to also be present, that is fine. If you need to record me, that is also fine. But I do believe that it would be easiest to have in-person meetings at the department. At least once a month.
Are in-person visits required?
In-person visits are normally
best practice.
something that is part of best practice, and part of the proposed treatment plan and case management, which is one of the objectives of communicating with me. It does request that she is available for monthly visits. Whether that's in her home or here, we're able to kind of flip-flop that. Normally with my other clients, sometimes we'll meet in the community, but then that next time we'd meet at home just so we can see that environment and all of that.
So it's best practice to meet in person, but it's not necessarily a court requirement from what I just heard, correct?
Correct.
Once a month visits are required though, aren't they?
And that's what I'm saying. These once a month visits are required, whether that's at the courthouse, whether that's at Starbucks, or
In person.
there's multiple different ways that we can handle those.
Okay, we didn't have a visit for September or this month.
I was able to see you at court both of those times in person, and so.
So that counted. But moving forward, Vicki, are you willing to meet with Stephanie in person?
And Vicki, I did try to come to your home. I left a business card, took a picture, that I did make that attempt. That was September 1st.
Moving forward, are you open to in-person visits? And if so, you heard that Stephanie is advocating for that to happen at the department. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yes, that's fine.
And you would like either Monica, Shayna, or Joe to be there, at least one of them, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Or whatever attorney
Okay.
I have at the time.
Okay. Communication outside of that, it sounds like we'll go through email. Stephanie, what else is in the proposed treatment plan?
So, aside from case management, we would ask that Vicki complies with her criminal case or cases. We would obviously ask that she has parenting time and attends a parenting class. We would ask for Vicki to complete a capacity to parent. The capacity to parent will provide us a lot of information in regards to domestic violence, substance, and mental health. So that is why I believe the capacity is going to be one of the very first things that I will want to address.
Also, Vicki, it will also give us some really good information on how you parent your children, how your parent react to you, your kid react to you, you react to them, that kind of thing. It will give us a lot of information around that.
Where's the facility I can schedule that?
Sorry, Vicki, go ahead.
I want to schedule that today, immediately. So where's the facility that you're going to be using?
It's normally behavioral health and wellness. Let me make sure that I can get an authorization sent over first, because they will not schedule anything without that auth sent. I don't have an ROI allowing me to send that authorization, which has been another problem with getting some of these proposed services authorized.
Before we make a next step around that, Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, so I know we started this whole thing off with me saying, hey, we're not going to dig her. But I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's my understanding a capacity parent is kind of a two-part evaluation, right? A psych eval and then a parent interactional. Ms. Alford had that psych eval done in her last case. Psych evals don't really kind of like expire. They don't really go like bad. She has the same personality traits then that she does today. So I'm wondering what it would look like. And I'm not saying that Ms. Alford is agreeing to this at all, but I'm just wondering that instead of having a capacity to parent, since we already have half of that done, if we could just do a parent-child interactional, maybe that'll kind of speed it up, save some time. She can get through this service quicker.
So my thoughts, Joe, would be is if Vicki would sign the release of information so we can get a copy of that evaluation that she did before the psychological eval, and then we would attach that as collateral when we send the authorization over to behavioral health and wellness, and then they can use that and continue with the capacity from there, and not necessarily have to do that piece of the capacity.
Because I also heard the other three things that you're looking at is mental health, substance abuse, and domestic violence evaluation, which would be a part of that. Vicki, at the last meeting, you noted that you are currently working with a therapist regarding all three of those things, and not willing to, or not, you want that therapist doesn't want to be subpoenaed, number one. Number two, you're finding it very helpful. You don't want to compromise that relationship by signing an ROI and that person getting involved in this, in the case part of this. So would you be willing to, so those other components, even if they've already been assessed, could be assessed through the capacity, I guess is my point. But Cassie, you wanted to add something. Go ahead.
I really wanted to ask something, if anyone knows. I mean, it's about timing. It's just been my experience, those get pushed out a long ways. I'm wondering if Stephanie or somebody has any information on how long it would take to get this on the calendar.
So I'm able to, honestly, behavioral health and wellness is super speedy to get that all set up. My evaluations are happening about 4 weeks after the parent has complied and come and done, their intake paperwork and all of that stuff that is needed for the evaluation.
Okay, I just didn't want to be like, great, this is 9 months down the road.
No, I don't think any of our services are that booked out. I know that's something that keeps being thrown out, but that's not been my experience. And I have I think I've got 3 parents that are doing a capacity, so I have a little bit of knowledge from the prior.
Okay.
Awesome. And my other quick question, I understood that Vicki doesn't have any transportation problems. Is that true? She can get to this eval once it's scheduled?
So I'm not sure about her current situation with her vehicle, as this has not been something she has felt comfortable discussing with me. I can tell you that to get to behavioral health and wellness, she could take a Medicaid taxi.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt. Vicki, transportation?
Transportation.
What's your transportation?
I have a car.
You have a car.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It's reliable. You're good to go there.
Yes.
Okay. Would Joe noted gas cards? Would those be helpful? Financial help around gas.
Gas cards would be nice.
Stephanie, when can you schedule a visit with Vicki so releases can be signed and there can be forward movement on those authorizations
I
being
can sign
sent
them and scan them
and a
in
request
and
of
send them
records?
via email.
Vicki and I actually have worked, and please tell me if I'm wrong, Vicki, but we have done through DocuSign. So we've successfully, and I don't think you even signed the DocuSign. I think you modified the document yourself. So I think we could handle it electronically to save you a little bit of gas.
I agree.
Okay.
So I will get that sent over. I hope to have that to her by tomorrow.
Monica, go ahead.
Can you, when you send it to her, can you make sure that I'm on the email so I can see what the release has and on it and everything before she signs it, just so her and I are on the same page and she feels comfortable?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you also mentioned a parent in class. Vicki, what are your thoughts about that?
I have a parenting class completed. I can send you that certificate.
What class was that, Vicki, and when was it completed?
That was, it's a general parenting class with emphasis on trauma-informed, trauma-informed parenting, basically. I completed that, when did I complete that? It was February of last year.
Was that through Parents as Teachers?
No, I'm doing Parents as Teachers right now. So I'm like 3/4 of the way through that as well. It was through Amos Counseling.
Okay. All right. So you will provide Stephanie with a copy of that, and she can determine if that helps. I guess more importantly, the purpose for recommending that. The why behind recommending that. What is the department hoping to see? Is her current work with Parents as Teachers? Is that accomplishing the same thing that you would hope that Vicki could get out of a parenting class, hence why it's on the proposed treatment plan? Stephanie, go ahead.
I am just curious, Vicky, who are you doing Parents with Teachers? Is that through Hilltop?
Yes.
And is that with Sandy?
No, it's Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. Okay. I am happy to, take the Parents as Teachers as the parenting class. My only question that I had with that is normally Parents as Teachers is a class that is for when the children are in the home. So that's kind of why I was just a little bit confused with it. I do have another parent who doesn't have their child in the home, and they also do the Parents as Teachers, and it has been a very beneficial program. So absolutely that is sufficient for the parenting class.
Okay, thank you.
And if you could get me any reports from that, I would absolutely love that. I don't necessarily have to have you sign an ROI so I could communicate, as long as you could get me that info.
I have that. I have letters and stuff from Christy, but Christy got a different job. So I've been working with Jocelyn. She'll provide a letter too. But I have 2 from Christy.
Okay. Thank you.
I was going to ask that. Christy attended our initial family engagement meeting, Stephanie. Vicki, do you want me to invite Jocelyn to your next family engagement meeting?
Yes, please. I was supposed to ask her to be added, and I flipped my mind. So.
Okay. Can you send me her email address, or at least the spelling of her last name?
Yes.
First and last name. That will help me find it. If not, okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. And Stephanie, just for your knowledge, Vicki was involved with Parents as Teachers prior to the department getting involved. And you had been working with Christy for how long, Vicki?
I requested services, I want to say 2 weeks before the department got involved, and my first meeting with Christy was 1 week before the department got involved. So I was definitely not in denial that I needed help. I'm the one who asked for help.
Any skills that you're learning in that class that you feel are helpful with your parenting? And what were you hoping to get out of those classes, I guess, or that service?
So what I wanted help with was routines. I have ADHD and it's going untreated. I'm about to get back on my medication pretty much in the next week, which that will help. But my routines are, not, I would like to get better at doing routines because it's very helpful for children to be, expecting what comes next in the day, and it helps them not just in their childhood but for the rest of their lives. And so I reached out for help with that. That's been wonderful. I've been implementing a routine in my own life every day, well, for most days. And also I wanted to better understand how to incorporate activities for all 3 of the kids because their ages are so different. Not Apollo and Artemis, but Apollo is very super abled and Artemis is just learning how to walk. So it's very, very insightful, and they give me all kinds of stuff, what me and my kids can go do out in the community, and different things. They host different little, not classes, but they're little group sessions of fun stuff. And also they talk about the development a lot. So where they're at developmentally, it's very important to emphasize certain activities and to be, speaking to them a certain type of way so that they can use that, what they learn immediately and for the future. So it's very helpful. Parents as Teachers is awesome.
I was going to provide Kristen's report from the previous meeting, but I wasn't able to find it. So, Vicki, are you comfortable sharing how you're going to address your ADHD, who's going to be providing medication management, etc.?
I'm not sure who. I just did my CIA yesterday, and so I have a couple of different appointments. I still have to see a psychiatrist. I don't know who that is.
And what is CIA? What does that mean?
It's a comprehensive integrated assessment.
And was that done at Mind Springs Health or somewhere different?
It was done at Mind Springs.
Okay, I did find Christy's previous report. She just noted you're very engaged in Parents as Teachers. You're learning about the children's development. focusing on self-care, focusing on building a routine for you and the kids. All right, are you willing to sign a release of information for Mind Springs Health? For Stephanie to be able to access that comprehensive eval?
I spoke with Mind Springs yesterday, and they're changing a bunch of things around, so I'm not sure exactly what needs to be signed with regards to information sharing, but I'm hoping after the next couple of appointments, they will know what they want to do. They're changing their opinions about a lot of stuff, so I'm just kind of in limbo, so I don't know yet.
Okay, before we talk about parenting time, Stephanie, anything else on the treatment plan?
I did just want to bring up that I can send the Mind Springs ROI along with the other one, and of course I'll include you, Monica, just so you have that at your disposal.
Okay, great. Anything else on the treatment plan then?
Housing and employment. I don't think housing is something that you've ever struggled with, at least since my knowledge. I think the only housing issues you struggle with is all the remodeling and constant workers there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was curious to know if you have obtained any employment.
I haven't obtained employment, but I am going to be in employment services with Mind Springs, so they're gonna help me figure out like what's the best. I guess do it like an aptitude type of thing.
That's awesome.
Okay.
And family therapy is another part that will come. At this time, Jeff, who is little Austin's therapist, has advised that we're not there yet. So it is something that we'll want to do to provide those supports for you, Vicki. But it's just kind of one of those services that are on the front line.
Okay. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, did Mr. Steele report what needs to happen before family therapy can start?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Joe?
Yeah, so I heard you say that we're not going to do family therapy right now because Mr. Shealy said that the last one just isn't there yet, right? So did he follow up and say, hey, this is what needs to happen, or this is what he needs to see before family therapy can begin?
He didn't necessarily state any specifics. He did let me know that he is still trying to build a trustful relation with Austin. He worked with him previously, but I think it's been about 2 years. So I really think that they're trying to get that bond back built where he feels comfortable. Austin has attended every session and is engaged, but we just haven't quite got to deal with any of his issues, and I believe that's why he doesn't want to bring mom into it yet.
And I have a quick question really quick for Cassie. Cassie, do you hold privilege, or are you going to be requesting that?
I am going to request it if I haven't already. I needed to see where Lee left off.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is Austin doing in his foster home? Savannah, are you able to speak to that, or Stephanie?
I can.
Kelsey, sorry.
Yeah. Austin's doing very well. He is such a smart, sweet boy. He does really, really well with the routines in the home, and this home is one of the best, in my opinion, at helping kids maintain routines and helping them develop those skills and routines, and Austin just does very well with that. They have noticed that he gets really anxious and almost has like that deer in the headlights look when he gets nervous or uncomfortable, or like, for example, he lost his glasses for all of about 2 minutes, and he was just super stressed about finding these glasses. So they're trying to help him work on, sometimes things don't go exactly according to plan, and that's okay, and ways to help mitigate those. But
Somebody's
other than that,
at my
he's
door.
doing very well.
Give me 1 second. I need to answer my door.
We can't hear you, Vicky. Can you? Oh, I think you said you need a second. You'll be right back. Okay.
That was weird. Somebody was knocking at my door and then they weren't there. At least I think it was someone knocking at my door. I don't know.
All right. So he's getting routines down. That'll be helpful for you, Vicky, as you're trying to implement that more as well.
I had a question and then, I wanted to ask, are the kids still escaping to go play on the trampoline?
No, they go outside to play periodically, but now they've gotten in a better routine because really, their children are kind of used to the set routine. The two kiddos that they have right now that are in foster care, so Austin and another child, weren't super used to the rules of trampoline. So now that they have established a better routine, the kids haven't been trying to get out and play as often.
Okay, another question. How's his eczema on his elbow? And then are his hands getting chafed at all?
His elbow's looking better. They're being really consistent with the eczema lotions and things that they got. His hands get a little chafed when the weather changes pretty drastically because we're at that weird time of year where it goes from 70s to 50s overnight. And so they get a little chafed, but every morning they put lotion on, and then after every bath, and then anytime he goes outside and his hands get cooler, they put lotion on to try to mitigate some of the chafing.
Okay, I didn't make the salve, but I did buy him this stuff. It's eczema lotion. It was $20 for this little thing, and I was wondering if it would be appropriate if I could give that to him tomorrow.
Stephanie, I'll defer to you.
That was something that we had talked about in the last FEM, that you were going to bring some of that. I have no problem with that. We would like to, handle that eczema. And so if you have, the magic stuff, I absolutely want to use that.
Cool.
Okay,
Vicki,
yeah.
is there any way you could just write down for me what ingredients are in it? Our foster homes are just required to keep pretty good records of things they give to kiddos, in case of allergic reactions, in case of anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just so I have a list of it in case. I'm sure you've used it and it's fine, but just so we have it.
I haven't used it. It's brand new. It's sealed. I wanted a sealed container because of all the accusations being flown around, and nobody can really make, headway of anything that's being said. I don't want any more accusations if I bring something that I made. So it's gonna be sealed. The ingredients are on the label. It's stuff that I can't pronounce. It's mostly essential oils, but yes, definitely I can give you a list of that stuff.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
And if you can sit a little closer to your phone, Vicki, I think it'll be easier to hear you. So again, just that is a store-bought item, and so the ingredients will be on there. All right, Savannah, how are the other two littles doing?
Yeah, so Apollo and Artemis are doing great. I know that, Vicki, like you said, Artemis is working more, and both of the kids are talking a lot more, especially Apollo. So I know that they're doing great. There's only been positive reports about how they're doing. So not sure if you have anything else to add, Stephanie. I don't have anything else to add. I was able to go and do an unannounced home visit, and at that point, kiddos were just waking up. The foster parent was changing them, so I got to observe any type of diaper rashes, which I didn't see present at the time. And, they're all three of them are doing really, really well. I saw Austin at school last month, and I actually am planning to go see him on Halloween, in hopes that the school is doing something kind of cool for that.
They do a parade every year.
Speaking of Halloween,
You know what time that is, Kelsey?
It's at 3. I only know because my kids go there too.
Speaking of Halloween, I wanted to also ask if I could give them some costumes. I got Artemis a unicorn. It's the cutest thing ever.
Oh gosh, that's cute.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
It's gonna be chilly on Halloween, it sounds like.
Yeah, this is gonna be warm, I think.
That looks
then
nice and cozy
Apollo,
and warm.
He's into dinosaurs right now, so I got him the dinosaur. And little Austin wanted to be Frankenstein, but I could not find a Frankenstein for the life of me. I didn't look at the Spirit Halloween store, but I got him this like scary one. I don't know. I wanted to make sure like it was appropriate, if it was okay if I could give them to them tomorrow.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's fine. He won't be able to wear the mask if he does the school parade, but he can wear, I think, the costume part.
Okay, cool.
Who joined us by phone?
Kathy again. I had to crop off the video.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Glad you made it back. Stephanie or Nicole, maybe you can answer this. Can Vicki bring those to visits tomorrow, or would you prefer a different avenue?
I'm fine with that as long as Ariel is.
Yes, as long as we have caseworker approval, they can be brought.
Okay, there we go. Vicki, let's hear from you regarding how visits are going, then we'll hear from Nicole.
Visits are going great. The kids are really, really excited to see me, and I'm extremely excited to see them. They run up to me, especially Apollo. He's like, "Mommy!" and he gives the best hugs. And Austin seems kind of, I don't know, like distant. I don't know, especially when Jeff Shealy comes out, but I mean, he loves Jeff Shealy, so I'm hoping that we can figure out what's going on there. But other than that, the visits are really good. I bring snacks and juices for them, and Apollo's so hydrated, so he gets like a refill like at least 5 times in a visit. And I've been really good about making sure that everything's ready to go at the end of the visit.
Yeah, have you been, has it worked out getting out of there on time and getting cleaned up and all that good stuff?
Yes, especially I have to be like really, on it, because Apollo is one to like, run, take his shoes back off and try and get back into the toys and stuff. But that's just Apollo. His personality is funny. So.
Good opportunity to practice having a routine in place for them, so that's good.
Right.
Okay, how often are your visits?
Once a week, every Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30.
2 hours once a week. And what is your hope in regards to having more?
I want at least another hour, or at least I like an extra hour. If it might get too late though, because I'm just gonna start getting dark before the end of the visit already. Either an extra hour or an extra day with an hour, whatever is available. I want to try and get out into the community eventually, if not, soon.
Okay. All right, Nicole. Let the team know how visits are going in general, and then what your recommendation would be for increased time.
So, yes, Vicki has worked on getting out on time. I asked her for those 2 weeks of getting out of here, kind of listening to my prompts. And so far it's going well. I know that we did kind of talk about community at the last meeting we had. And I kind of said I really wanted her to listen to me before we move forward with that. I'm okay with that. What we've kind of been doing lately is if parents have 2 visits, we have one here and then one out in the community. We do have a kind of community guideline that we would need you to sign. And it basically just kind of outlines the rules that we would expect out in the community. And
I'm going to interrupt real quick because I've heard Vicki say at this point she is just hoping for increased time, and then in the future, community visits. Vicki, is that accurate?
No, I meant if possible soon, like, if we could do community visits starting like next week or the week afterwards, like that would be really awesome.
You would be okay to that too. Okay, so carry on, Nicole, sorry.
I mean, I'd have to look at everybody's schedule for added time. Yeah, I mean, definitely it would have to be a scheduling thing.
to figure that out. I don't know if anybody kind of has an idea of what we would like to start out with.
Let me ask this, Nicole. It sounds like routine is better. Vicky's coming prepared. There are no safety concerns that I've heard. Vicky reported Austin has been a bit distant. Are you able to speak to that? And is that the only concern at this time? And would you recommend an increase in time in general?
Not necessarily if I feel he's been distant. I kind of feel busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like a lot going on. So I haven't really observed the distance, but of course, your mother-son, you might feel a little different about that. Like I said, just busy, I feel he is. Like, he kind of goes, boing, 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 and then Apollo's going, boing, 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 boing over here. And then you got little Artemis that's kind of just like, hello, I'm here.
Right.
So,
Vicki, do you think like you could contain that busyness in the community, or do you think it would actually help them be able to run around a little bit more? And what are your thoughts on that?
It would really help. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we still have gone outside to kind of let that roam go.
I wonder what Jeff would think about increased time too.
I don't know that. I don't have that answer.
How old is Artemis again, Vicki?
She's 15 months, and if there's no availability at Ariel, I'm wondering maybe we can also, if the extra time, isn't a doable thing, then maybe adding the time through a different facility, even Griffith Center. I worked really well with Patty Cantrell in the past, as y'all know, who were here last time. And I'm pretty sure that she'd be up for it. She's really busy, but I think they have a little bit more availability than Ariel does, right? Ariel is pretty packed.
We don't have a therapist here to speak to this, but especially given Artemis's age, sometimes, twice a week versus an increased time helps maintain that bond when there's more frequent contact, as long as they're responding okay to that. But Joe, go ahead.
And I'm wondering what the thing to think about. I know that we have Joni on the line, and I don't know Joni from a home wall other than she's a support for Vicky. I don't want to put her in a tough spot, but maybe she could supervise. Also, I realized that the children and Ms. Alfred have a supportive maternal grandfather. I know that he wants to see the kids. I don't know what it would look like for him to be able to supervise. That way we can have kind of a, less restrictive, more familial-based parenting time.
And then bigger picture, given why the department is involved in the first place, and the recommendations that you're making, are you prepared to say, yes, it makes sense to increase time? And there's kind of a bigger picture here in that there's not even a court-ordered treatment plan yet. So lots of factors to consider. But Joni, let's definitely let you speak to what Joe just proposed.
I would be happy to do that. I would love to do that so much. I miss those kids. I have a little girl that's right in between her babies, and I know my oldest, she's 8. She misses them very much, so I would be more than willing to do that.
Not saying it would be approved, Joni, but part of the process would be going through a background check, possibly fingerprints. Do you have anything in your history that, number one, would you be willing to do that? Number two, anything in your history that may be a barrier?
No, I have a clean history. I actually have a bachelor's in criminal justice, so I have no problems doing a background check. It'll probably be the quickest background check you've ever gotten back. I actually need to do that for my daughter's school anyways, so that I can volunteer and stuff there. I've just kind of been slow on the go with that. But if I do that for her school, would that be okay for you guys as well? Could you kind of coincide that?
Okay, so Stephanie and Robin, a ton of questions for you to answer here, from bigger picture all the way down to details of utilizing Joni in the future. Sarah, do you want to interject before we let Robin and Stephanie address all those things?
I can just answer that question that was just asked. Due to laws, they are not allowed to share, so we wouldn't be able to accept those results, but we would pay for them at the department, so it wouldn't be any additional cost to you if you were approved.
Okay, perfect. No problem.
Okay, Robin, floor is all yours.
Well, and I'm not sure if I got all the questions. I'm just going to throw something out there. So, what I think the department would like to see would be some supervised with Nicole community visits to start with, see how those go for a couple weeks and see, if we have any concerns, barriers, or if there's anything we need to address before we open it up with, is it Joni, correct? Did I say that right? Anyway, or is it Joan? Anyway, regardless. And in the meantime, we can work on those background checks and get some of that kind of stuff going in the meantime to where if it looks like everything's going okay with Nicole in the community, then we can go from there. Does that sound fair to everyone?
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Okay, we also have to get the guardian ad litem approval. It looked like she hopped off. I'm not sure what happened, but we'll have to talk with her and make sure she
Yeah, next. But yes, that works for me as well. Just keep me posted.
All right, team, we have yet to develop a goal statement together, but in the risk statement, 3 concerns are noted. The first, ensuring that the kids have someone who is able to supervise them appropriately at all times. Nicole, have you had any concerns about that during visitation at this time?
No, the only recommendation I'm going to be is maybe bounce up a little quicker when Mr. Apollo tries to come inside. Because my concern about that is that sometimes he just, it's fast. And then he sticks his little hand in the door. And I just see an injury waiting to happen. So just maybe a little quicker on your feet when he does that.
The other thing in the risk statement is being able to meet the kids' immediate needs. Do you feel like, obviously, shelter is being met? What about diaper changes, food, hydration, etc.? Emotional needs? Nicole, any concerns in any of those areas during visitation?
No, she brings snacks and meals or whatever. Not meals, but crackers, pepperoni, blah, blah, blah. The diaper change, make sure you have them. And if we want to prevent diaper rashing, I would maybe suggest checking a little bit more often.
Okay. Number 3, kids need a sober caregiver. Do you have any concerns about Vicky and being sober while at visits?
No.
Okay. Is the department monitoring sobriety in any way, or will that be a part of the treatment plan?
Vicky was authorized to be taking random UAs at CJSD. There was a little bit of hiatus in the UAs. I was able to confirm, I believe, mid-September, early September. It was a couple of weeks ago. I could get specific dates, but I did confirm with the manager at CJSD that she is allowed to be taking said ways where that is not going to get her in any type of trouble. I did communicate this to Vicky, but I have not received any UAs in numerous months.
And really quick, Willie, while we have our mic open, Stephanie brought something up that I hadn't thought of. We need to check with county, with the attorneys and stuff too, to make sure the protection order with Vicky and the boys, making these changes is going to be okay, because it may be specific to Ariel and to parenting time. So we may not be able to do that unless that is, I'm not sure. We'll follow up with the attorneys and make sure we're not going to do anything to get anyone in trouble.
Okay, so before any increased time and or community visits can happen, GAL needs to approve, and those things need to be looked into. Vicky, Joni, then Monica, then Joan. And we have
Yes.
about 7 minutes, guys. Go ahead, Vicki.
I took a UA on Monday, so I finally found a place outside. I don't want to go anywhere near CJSD. I don't want to risk running into him, and him saying like, "Oh, she flipped me off" or something like that. I don't even want anything to do with him. Okay, nothing. I don't even want to see him out of my peripherals. Okay, he's disgusting. So I found somewhere to go do UAs. Is it you guys ordering them twice a week?
So I've got a little bit of concern with that. Where are you going to get those UAs done?
At outside a third party facility.
Okay, we need to know where that's at, Vicki, so we can get copies of those straight from the facility. So, and you would sign an ROI. So what facility are you using? And part of the treatment plan is going to say that it needs to be through a facility that MCDHS approves. So, I mean, if you are absolutely refusing to go see CJSD, we can do MCC if you want to do that.
Yeah, can we do that if that's what you guys require? CJC has been totally fine with me doing mine at the third party, so.
But I believe that that's for like your other criminal stuff, possibly.
And we can combine the two, so you're getting them through criminal and through us, but we also have to have it through a provider that we contract with and that we approve. So if you want us to send an authorization to MCC, we can do that. We'll just need to have you sign the ROI to do that.
Yeah,
And they're across the street from the courthouse. No, from the college, the university, on 12th.
I did wonder, Vicki, too, with you going to that third party entity, are you paying for those? Because that is something that Mesa County should be covering.
I am paying for them. I just wanted to do that to avoid a stalking charge for driving on South Avenue. I mean, even just my phone logging me being at CJSD is Comcor. So I'm not trying to get another stalking charge. I don't care. Like, I mean, I know the protection order says whatever it says, but I got a stalking charge for driving on South Avenue.
Okay. So, Vicki, knowing that MCC and CJSD are the only two entities that DHS is contracted with, are you willing to sign a release of information to have those done at MCC?
I never signed an ROI in the first place. I was never asked to take drug tests. At the shelter hearing, Lauren McGee told me, can you take a drug test for me today or tomorrow? If those are negative, then you won't have to take drug tests. I went and I took a drug test the very next day, and it came out negative, and so that was our agreement. It says on the CJSD form too, it says one-time UA ordered by Lauren McGee.
Monica, and then Joe, and then back to Stephanie and Robin. Go ahead, Monica.
All I was going to say is regarding the protection order, it says just the parenting time. What the parenting time is in this case is what she's allowed. It doesn't have any specifics of who does the exchanges or anything. It's just the parenting time in this case is what she's allowed to have.
Okay.
So whatever we decide the parenting time is what she'll be allowed to have.
Gotcha. Okay. So, given that a sober caregiver is part of the risk statement, I assume that's why the department got involved in the first place. And do you need information about that to be able to make an informed decision about reunification? Regardless of whether Lauren said that was a one-time UA or not, what is the department's stance moving forward?
We have to have documentation and records of said sobriety.
Even though all of the UAs that I've taken, even though all of the UAs that I've taken are negative, I haven't had a single positive UA. I'm not even smoking pot. Like, I have a prescription.
I don't have any of those records, unfortunately.
That's right, because you guys didn't have me sign an ROI, right? You guys can't get access to that. Is that?
Okay, so 3 things, because we need to wrap up here pretty quickly. Vicki, are you willing to provide the results from the third-party entity to Stephanie for those UAs that you've already taken?
I will, if I can get the documentation, which explains how it was legitimate that DHS was even able to get what did you say, Tiffany? You had like 5 UA results. I need to see where the authorization for that information came from. And sure, then I will definitely provide this facility and sign ROIs for that.
I'm confused. What about 5 UAs?
Stephanie said in court that she got results from 5 UAs that I've taken so far. I don't know how she got those, seeing as that they didn't have me sign an ROI. So I'd like to see documentation and some kind of proof and some accountability for that. And then we can talk about anything else.
Okay, I'm gonna make some next steps for the team. Number 1, well, let me ask this. Stephanie, do you have any UA results?
Yes, I am able to see some of her records, and I have not had any negative results since July.
Okay, and the question is, how were you able to get those records without having a release of information?
Did she sign Lauren? You know, I'm not sure because this was a service that was authorized prior to me taking this case.
Okay, so we're not going to solve that today, especially in the 2 minutes that we have. The department is proposing UAs happen at MCC. I'm not hearing that they're able to contract with a third party, although that could be a next step, Stephanie, for you and Robin to talk about if Vicki is able to provide a name to you. Thank you, Nicole. The treatment plan is not court ordered yet. Monica, suggestion?
I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I have to step into court real quick.
Okay.
Vicki, will you text me the dates for the next one?
Monica, can
Yes,
we make
thank
it
you,
a next
Monica.
step too that you and Vicki will talk about whether or not she signs an ROI for UAs to be authorized at MCC?
Yes, we will talk about that.
Okay, that's where we'll leave it then at this time.
Okay. All right, just send me the date, okay, Vicki?
Okay, thank you, Monica.
Again, what the department is proposing in the treatment plan is to provide them with information on to make an informed decision on reunification. Whether or not the judge will order what they propose is yet to be determined. So we'll leave it at that for today. Robin, I'm sorry, I believe you were going to say something.
I'm sorry, there was an authorization sent to CJSD on May 31st for random UAs, and it looks like, and so we would have been getting those results sent to us. They just automatically get sent to us when that happens, and it looks like she had a negative result on June 20th, June 28th, July 6th, July 10th, and July 25th, and then there's been nothing since.
Okay. And given you've heard today that she's very uncomfortable going to CJSD, with the possibility of running into Austin, therefore you're willing to authorize those at MCC. Vicki will talk with Monica further about whether or not she's willing to sign a release of information, and it's yet to be determined if that will be ordered by the court. Fortunately, the next time we come together, it will be after the disposition hearing, and we will know if in fact that was court ordered, and we can have a more thorough discussion around that. So I'm going to make a next step, Stephanie, for you and Vicki to develop the goal statement together at your next visit, assuming that that's going to happen before our next family engagement meeting. And if you can send that to me. I'm looking at bringing us back together in about 45 days. Vicki, does that sound okay to you?
That does. And can I ask something really quick? Stephanie, can you send me that authorization that was sent to CJSD? They told me that I had to ask you for it. Because I asked them, like, who's giving my information out without an ROI, and they stonewalled me, and so this is a big HIPAA thing that I'm making a big deal out of. So I just need to find out who's accountable so that I can tell.
Yeah, we couldn't have sent an authorization without a release of information.
Okay, so somebody forged my name then.
We can try to figure that out, but we'll also, that request has to come through your attorney, and she has to go through the county attorney to get those.
So somebody signed an ROI for that, then they forged my information, and I will be following up with that legally.
Team, I am looking at bringing us back together. Oh, wow, Stephanie. Your December does not look fun. Oh, my.
September, October, November, December, January, February.
Wow, you are in court a lot. The soonest we could come back together, Vicky, would be November 29th. Otherwise, we're looking at December 18th. Do you have a preference?
November 29th is good.
Okay. Tuesday, December 28th is also an option. Let's shoot for Wednesday, the 29th at 11 o'clock. Is there anyone that doesn't work for? November 29th, 11 o'clock. It's a Wednesday.
That doesn't work for me, but if it works for everyone else, I can figure it out.
We can get an update from you. Okay. And Shayna, does that work for you?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go for that, Kelsey, given Stephanie's calendar. And I'll get that invite sent out. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time today.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye now.
Mm-hmm.